Well, ma'am, sorry to hear that your credit card application got rejected. I'm really sorry to hear that. But listen, in today's conversation, I want to speak to you and everybody else about the credit card application rejection process. And I'm going to give you 10 reasons why credit card applications get denied all the time. You want to listen to this conversation? You're going to love the content. I guarantee it. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to speak to you about credit card application rejected. 10 reasons why credit card applications get denied all the time and what you can do about it. The first thing you need to understand here is that when you get a credit card denial, you need to find out what really went wrong, right? Because right now you're probably frustrated or you are just confused, whatever, you don't know what happened. But it is important to actually take the time to think about the process that led to the denial. There is a variety, there is a constellation of reasons why a credit card application might get declined, but you should be able to determine what you need to work on. Credit card issuers are required to disclose the reason why they decline a credit card application in the rejection letter. So this is something called, you have a rejection letter where they actually explain everything to you. So one thing you need to understand here is that sometimes credit card issuers, they might get a little technical. In other words, they might not give you the exact reasons why you were denied. But one thing I want you to pay attention to right now on the screen is your credit score. Most of the time, you get rejected because of your credit score or information in your credit report. So let's dig a little deeper in the credit score here. You can see on the screen that your credit score has 5 components, 2 of which are quintessential. So when you take your payment history and your the amount owed, in other words, your debt, when you take those 2 elements, they account for nearly 2/3 of your credit score. Think about it, 2/3. So payment history, 35%, amount owed, 30%. That's huge. So if you just took care of those 2 elements, those 2 criteria in your financial life, you would have boosted your credit score like crazy. So that's the first 2 elements. Then you have, of course, you have the length of credit. Obviously, if you're in your 20s, you're not going to have a credit history that is as long as someone in their 50s or 60s, right? And then you also have the credit mix, and then you have the new credit accumulation. What I want to say here is that at the end of the day, before you apply for a credit card, any credit card for that matter, you want to pay attention to your credit score. And of course, you don't have to pay for it. You can actually go to a website called annualcreditreport.com where you get the info for free. All right, once a year they'll give you your information on Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion for free. Let me now give you the top 10 reasons why credit card applications get denied all the time. And then I'll explain to you what you can do to prevent that from happening to you. First thing is too much debt. If you have too much debt, you're not going to qualify. All right, because at the end of the day, if you have a high loan balance or high credit card debt, it will stand out to a card issuer. And so having more debt than you have in available credit is a sign to creditors that giving you a credit line might be too risky for them, because you may not be able to take on another monthly payments, right? That's what we call the credit utilization ratio. This is where it's really important. If your CUR, your credit utilization ratio, is high, guess what? They will be walking away. If you have low income, reason number 2, if you have low income, if your disposable income is too low or your income is unstable, this is another reason why a credit card issuer might actually just walk away. If you really think about it, they're trying to cover their ass here. It's all about ass covering. In proper English, it's all about risk mitigation. It's all about looking at your cash inflows and your cash outflows and making a determination right then and there that you can qualify. You can actually be in a position where you can repay whatever expenses you charge on the card. Okay, so it's all about stability. Reason number 3, you have limited credit. There's nothing you can do about it. If your credit history is limited, then that's just what it is. You have this is what we call, you have a thin credit file or limited credit history, and it is a common reason for a card issuer to deny a credit card application. At the end of the day, it's all about risk mitigation. So some card issuers will approve you if you are young or you have a limited credit history, and some will just deny you. That's just the way it is. If you also have, and this is reason number 4, if you have too many cards, this could be a problem. Let me ask you a question. How many cards you currently have in your wallet? I'm not speaking about your physical wallet. I'm speaking about your wallet in general. You probably have 13 cards or 15 cards, who knows? I'm just kidding. But let's say you have 5 cards. You're not, some people do not carry all the cards they have on them, right? So how many cards do you have? Remember that having too little credit is one thing, but sometimes having too much credit can be a deal breaker to a card issuer. There is no certain number of credit cards that is considered too many. Every credit card company sees this factor differently, but it could be a reason your application was denied. Reason number 5, low credit score. That's just what it is. You can't do anything about it. Think about it. If your credit score is below the level required by the card, then it will be extremely hard for you to actually be approved. We have actually reviewed tens, if not hundreds, of credit cards, business credit cards, and personal credit cards on this show, and we have seen that some cards just have a credit score minimum. This could be 650, 700, and unless you have a multi-product relationship with the institution, with the bank or the credit union, it is extremely hard to qualify for this card. Okay, and this is something that you really need to think about. So if you really want the card, you're going to have to beef up your credit score. Again, going back to what I said to you earlier about the 5 components of your credit score, you need to actually get your credit score up by paying attention to your payment history and the amounts owed, among other things. Reason number 6, you have had too many hard pulls. So if there are too many hard inquiries on your credit report, this is not good, right? Because every time you apply for a credit card, there will be a hard credit pull on your reports. To banks, this could mean 2 things. First, a hard inquiry causes a drop in your credit score. So banks might find that your score is too low for the credit card you want. Okay? And second, too many inquiries could indicate that you have over-applied due to a desperation for credit, which banks may interpret as higher risk behavior indicative of unstable finances. Again, going back to what I said earlier, it's all about ass covering here. Reason number 7, recent delinquencies. So if you have a recent charge-off, you have a recent collection account, you have a recent delinquencies, this is not good. Having those derogatory items on your record, even if just one, tarnishes your credit reputation, because it means to the issuer that you are financially unreliable and or desperate. So it's all about your financial picture. It's all about your financial responsibility. It's all about the overall picture, not just the one aspect of things. No. Okay. Banks want responsible customers who will make on-time payments. So they're less likely to approve you for a credit card if you showcase such neglect for financial responsibility. Reason number 8 why you might get denied: if there are errors on your credit report. Yeah, that happens. Yeah. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time? Big decision time. When was the last time you actually checked your credit report? Do you know if there is an error or errors on your credit reports? Remember that the information on your major credit reports serves as the basis for your credit card decision. So it is conceivable that wrong data could lead to you being mistakenly declined. All right. So this could be the result of fraud or of a credit bureau making a mistake. So this is why you constantly want to check your credit report to make sure that the information is accurate. As I was telling you earlier, every year you have a chance to get your credit report for free. You can also sign up for services such as Credit Karma, Wallet Hub, or Nerd Wallet. Those are free services, and you get access to your free. You actually have a free credit scores, either a Vantage, your Vantage score or your FICO score. Reason number 9: derogatory items. So there is other negative information on your credit report. For example, lawsuits, charge-offs, tax liens, or unpaid child support. Those could be a part of the reason why you were denied the credit card you wanted. One thing I want to say here is that whether you have credit report errors or derogatory items or whatever it is, you want to dispute those items as soon as possible, because it's all about timing. The longer you wait, the harder it might be to remove those items. So you want to start ASAP. And the number 10 reason why you might be denied is youth. Again, you are too young. There's nothing you can do about it. Okay. Individuals below the age of 18 may not apply for their own credit card. So if you are underage, or let's say you are between 18 and 21 and you haven't had what I call the financial history necessary to make to improve your credit score yet, banks and credit unions might see you as a risky proposition. Let's just say it the way it is, right? So if you're too young, you just have to wait. And in the meantime, one thing you can do is you can actually ask a relative to add you as an authorized user. You can ask your dad, your brother, your sister. Of course, make sure that they have stellar credit before adding you. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks. To another session of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. We're also having a conversation about why credit card applications get denied. I've given you the top 10 reasons. Now let's talk about the action plan. What to do after a declined credit card application, or what to do to avoid a rejection in the first place. Number 1, you want to plan. Planning is very important. Don't be in a rush to apply again. If you get denied, you might actually be denied again. You don't want that. Remember, every application triggers a hard pull, right? You got denied for a reason. So applying for the same credit card or even a different credit card with the same card issuer too quickly is not likely to help your situation. So improving your credit standing can take time. So one thing that's very important to understand is you want to take stock to really know what really happened. And if you do want to continue applying for credit cards, keep in mind that your credit score will take a hit each time you apply, and too many applications is a red flag of desperation to card issuers. Okay, so make sure you hedge your bets on which cards you are likely to get approved for, and while doing that, try to avoid the ones you know you'll never get. So that's the first thing you need to do. Planning is important. Second thing is you have to think about different lenders. Apply with a different issuer. Big decision time. Have you been rejected by a bank, for instance, a big national bank, for instance, or a credit union? Well, guess what? There are other financial institutions available. If you were rejected by a bank, go to a credit union, or go to a community bank, or go to a regional bank. There are several layers of banks, and what you want to do is find a bank that will be amicable, quote unquote, amicable to you. Different issuers use different underwriting criteria, which means applying for a credit card from a different bank or credit union than the one that you got denied for might result in you getting approved for a small offer or a different offer, assuming the card is suitable to your credit standing. The third action plan. What about reconsideration, folks? You can submit a reconsideration request or call the reconsideration line. Though not many people know about this well-kept secret, credit card issuers are required to reconsider your application upon request if you have new or additional information to provide, given that it is provided in a timely manner. Okay, so if you felt like you were unfairly or illogically denied a credit card, you should definitely reconsider this option. It can typically be done by phone or in writing, depending on the card issuer. The fourth thing you can do is self-review. For us, this is important. You can request a free copy of your credit report, right? Because it's always a great idea to determine where you stand on the credit score spectrum. I've already told you what you can do through annual credit report or other players like Wallet Hub or NerdWallet. So this is really good. And again, once you get an idea of what's in your credit report, you can actually dispute them if you believe they are invalid or they're inaccurate. Okay. And number 5, you want to think about the low-hanging fruits. You can apply for a lower tier card. Let me ask you a question. Let's say you want to you applied for a premium card. You get denied. Okay. Why don't you just go low down? You can go for the basic cards at the lender where you are currently at. Okay. And if you don't get approved for a credit card after submitting a couple of applications, you might want to apply for a star credit card also, most of which are easier to get than the average consumer credit card. Or you can simply place a security deposit on a secure credit card. Okay. Secure credit cards, as the name indicates, offer basically guaranteed approval because your deposit serves as your credit line and thereby prevents overspending. What about lowering your DTI? It's kind of important also. Trying to reduce your debt to income ratio. If you have a large amount of debts, this is what is most likely to hinder you from acquiring the card you need. So you want to focus on paying down your debt so banks will stop viewing you as a high risk candidate. Number 7, and I think I've said this before, try to become an authorized user. Yeah. Are you currently an authorized user? Big decision time. Or do you have a relative in your vicinity, a relative in your circle who has stellar credit, who can help you or who can add you as an authorized user on their credit card? If yes, then go ahead and do it. Because if you are too young, for instance, to have your own credit card, having a parent add you to their account as an authorized user is a great way to garner spending power for emergency situations, as well as learn how to manage a credit card account and lay the foundation for a strong credit history. So something to really think about. What can you do also? Number 8, what about budget discipline? Folks, I'm still talking to you about why credit card applications get denied. I've given you the top 10 reasons. Now I'm giving you an action plan, the kind of action plan that will help you avoid being rejected. Okay. And so budget discipline. What is that? It means that you need to have some kind of discipline, financially speaking. You want to pay your bills and credit card statements balances on time, right? Try to keep your credit card balances low or at zero. It's all about paying with the money you already have and not just live on credit over and over and over. You want to pay your bills and statement balances in full. One thing that's also very important in terms of keeping your credit score high is to not let your bills go unpaid and sent to a collections agency. No. And you want to keep your CUR to 30% or 35%, between 30 and 30%. So you want to only spend 1/3 of your credit limits. So this will keep your credit card balances low or at zero. Okay. And a good thing here is that if you keep your CUR at 30 to 35%, you're showing creditors that you are not going to hit your maximum limit and possibly not pay the balance off on time. And number 9, think about your credit score. I think we've already covered this before, but I want you to see again on the screen here. You can see the components of a credit score, the 5 components, with the top 2 being payment history and amount owed. Those 2, as I've said before, accounts for 65%, which is nearly 2/3 of your credit score. So if you have a FICO of 700, for instance, you know that your payment history and amount owed account for 2/3 of that. 2/3 of that. So it's pure math, okay? It's pure math. So you want to study the credit score components to find out what can help you increase your score. It's pure math after all. And the last thing you need to do here, you want to maintain contact. Okay, let me ask you a question. Big decision time here. You were denied for a credit card application. Okay, have you maintained contact with the lender, with your bank? Are you speaking to someone in the credit card department? Have you gone to the branch? Have you sat down with them? It's all about maintaining contact, and not just during the application, but also if you're having financial difficulties. For example, you want to contact your credit card issuer if you fall behind on your payments. Some lenders and credit card issuers provide extensions or accommodations if you request them. Also, keep in mind that you can request your credit card companies to adjust your credit limits. So if you think the credit limit is larger than necessary, call and request them to decrease it. All right, folks, this is actually the end of today's conversation. One thing I want to say here is that no matter the reason you've been denied for a credit card, it doesn't feel good to get rejected. So it's best to take this as a learning opportunity, as an opportunity to polish up your credit report, okay? So here are the top 10 reasons: too much debt, low income, limited credit, too many cards, low credit score, too many hard pulls, recent delinquencies, credit report errors, derogatory items, and youth. And in terms of action plans to sort of fix those issues, if you have them, planning is important. Different lenders, reconsideration, self-review, low-hanging fruits, lower DTI, authorized user, budget discipline, credit score, and maintaining contact. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. I'll speak to you another time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.